In this video, we're going to look at installing Oracle Application Express 4.1 into an Oracle database. If you Google Oracle Application Express and go to the Oracle site, you'll see downloads there. And you can see I grabbed this Apex 4.1, and I grabbed the English language version of the zip file. There's another zip file that's available for you that has all languages in it, and it's much larger, obviously. But I'm just going to do the English file for now. If I double click on that, you can see that there's an Apex directory, so I'm going to copy him to my extract directory, and Windows is going to go through and extract those files. I'm going to pause the video and start it up again once the extract is complete. Okay, we're back. The extract program has extracted all of the Apex files to this directory dextract apex, and if we take a look at that, we'll see that there's a whole bunch of SQL scripts that are available to us. The one that we're going to concern ourselves with is this apex ins. That's one of the two files that we're going to have to run to upgrade our Application Express environment to 4.1. So I'm going to hop into a DOS window now, and I'm going to connect to my database. Well, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to change directories. I'm going to change directories over to that extract apex directory, and if I do a directory there, you can see there's all the files that are available to me. Let me resize this window so it fits a little better on my video screen there. So again, the apex ins, that's the one that we're going to concern ourselves with. So there he is right at the top. So I'm going to log into my database as the sys user, and I'm going to run this apex ins command. It takes a couple of weird parameters. It's not intuitively obvious how you're supposed to run this, but if you do ampersand apex ins, and then you have to pass sysaux temp, and then the I virtual directory. So these first two parameters are table spaces where Application Express is going to put its data and its indexes. It's also going to use a temporary table space, so you have to include temp there. And the /i/ is a virtual directory where Application Express is going to install all of its images. So when I click on hit my return button, this script is going to take off, and it's going to do a ton of things inside my Oracle database. Again, I'm going to pause the video because it's going to run for a long time, and we'll see what the success message looks like at the end, assuming everything is okay with this particular script. Okay, we're back. The upgrade script has gone through and it's done a ton of stuff inside the Oracle database. It's created new table spaces, new users, triggers, a whole bunch of procedures. What we're looking for is something like this at the end, where it says timing for development installation, timing for validate installation, and then a graceful disconnect from the Oracle database. If you don't see something similar to this at the end of running the apex ins script, something probably went wrong somewhere. So you probably need to go back, take a look at the error messages, figure out what's going on. The script will die before it reaches places like this beforehand. So it looks like we have our Application Express up and running, and we're all set to go. Not yet. There's a whole bunch of images that go along with the new release of Oracle Application Express, and we have to load those images into the Oracle database. So again, we're going to go into our DOS window, we're going to connect again. Before I do that, let me show two things. Here's the script that we're going to use, apx load image. We're going to load that guy, and the tricky thing with this script is the parameter that it takes is one directory up from where you are installing it from. So I'm installing it from dextract apex. I'm going to have to run this script with a directory above this, which is going to be dextract. So let's get back into SQL Plus, and I'm going to run apx ldimg, and again I'm going to pass one directory above where I am now, so it's going to be dextract. Wherever you decide you're going to extract these apex scripts and run them from, just remember you have to specify one directory above where you're looking at. So when I do this, again I'm going to pause the video. This is going to run for a couple of minutes. It's going to do a whole bunch of stuff inside the database. We're going to have to run one more script, and then we're going to be ready to rock and roll in our new Apex environment. And we're back again. As you can see, the Apex load image script went through and created some directories. It moved a whole bunch of stuff into the database. One more script that we have to run, we're going to run the configuration script where we're going to set our administrator password, and in this script we can go ahead and change the port if we want to do so. So I'm going to log back in here into SQL Plus. Whoops, I'm still in SQL Plus. I'm going to exit out of there, and I'm going to do a directory again, and you can see that we have this apexconf.sql. So I'm going to log into that, and I'm going to, like I said, change the administrator password, and then I'm going to go ahead and make sure the port is where we want to be listening for our Apex environment. So let's get back into SQL Plus, and we'll run apexconf. This will ask me for a password for the administrator user. As soon as I log into Apex Admin for the first time, it's going to have me change it again anyway. So I'm just going to put in something like XYZ. Here's the port that it's listening on. If that port is fine for you, you can just go ahead and leave it at 8080. If you want to change it to something else, you can do that. If you're running this on Linux, there's a whole bunch of rules about changing anything below 1024. You can only do that as the root user, so there's a couple of tricks that you have to go through and do. But for now, we're just going to leave it at 8080. As you can see, everything has compiled okay. So now that we've reset the password, let's hop into Application Express and see if everything is running okay. So I'm going to hop into a browser here. I'm going to resize the browser so that it fits on our window. That looks a little nicer. So I'm going to go to localhost, because I'm running on the same machine, 8080. And if I was going to go into Apex, I could just type Apex here, and I could hop into Apex. But I want to go into the administrator first, make sure everything looks okay, and set up a workspace for myself. So I'm going to go into Apex Admin. Looks like I'm talking to my database, and hopefully it'll bring back the administrative login page. And as you can see, that it's brought back Oracle Application Express, and we're in the administration part. So you can see it says enter in Application Express internal administrative credentials. You remember that it was the admin user, and I created XYZ as the password. So when I log in, first thing it's going to say is you can't stick with that password, so it's going to make me change to something. And this is one of those really annoying things. I'm going to kill this here. This is one of those really annoying things where Oracle has a whole bunch of password rules, but it doesn't tell you what the rules are. So let's just say I'm going to put in something like ZZZ, and I'll put in ZZZ for new password and confirm new password. As soon as I try to apply changes, it goes, no, sorry, I'm not going to let you do that. It's got to be 6 characters. It has to have 1 numeric character. It has to have 1 punctuation character. It has to have 1 uppercase alphabetic character. Could have told me all that before I went through all this stuff, so let me do this again. Put in XYZ, and then I'll put in a goofy password that I created that has all of those things that it's looking for. Click on Apply Changes. Looks like I changed it okay. All the way on the right hand side here, there's a little X. Cancel out of that. Click on Return. Takes me back to the login page, and let me put in my goofy password again. Make sure that everything is working okay. There it is. Looks like we're working okay. Looks like we're having a little trouble displaying images there. It's a little slow. Nothing is cached yet, so I'm going to say no. And let's say I want to manage workspaces. So I'm click on Manage Workspace. I'm going to say that I'm going to look at existing workspaces. Nothing there. We have an internal workspace, but nothing that we can do any work with. So I'm going to create a workspace. I'm going to call it Sandbox. Click on the Next button. Should I reuse an existing schema? Now I'm going to create a brand new schema, call it Admin. Give it that same goofy password that I did before. And I'll give it a space quota 50 megs. I'm not going to use that much, but I got plenty of space on my hard disk, so I'll just go ahead and do that. Give the administrator password for the workspace, and I keep using the same password over and over again. Give myself my email in case I forget it and I have to email it to myself. We can do that. So here's a summary page. Everything looks good. Yep, I'm going to create the workspace. In a second this should come back and tell me that the workspace is created. And you can see that it's come back. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to log out as the admin now. And I'm going to log into Apex. And if I click on login here, I can do that, or as part of my URL, just go to my local host, or the host that Apex is running on, the port number 8080, and just put in Apex, and it'll automatically redirect me. If I didn't do the load image script a little while ago, none of these images would look good. You would be missing the images all over the place. So I created a workspace called Sandbox, admin, and the goofy password I remembered. And if everything is working good, I should be ready to rock and roll inside my new Apex environment. Same thing here. It's going to ask me to change the password. So the password's been changed. I click return. Makes me log in again. And now I am ready to rock and roll in my new Apex 4.1 environment. If we scroll down at the bottom here in the bottom right hand corner, you can see that we finally get to see what version of Application Express we're running. The standard that comes with the 11G database, I believe, is 3.3, so we've upgraded our environment to Application Express 4.1. We'll have a lot more videos on Application Express and all of the cool things that you can do inside there coming up. But hopefully this video was helpful for you getting your database upgraded to the latest and greatest version as of August 2011 of Application Express 4.1.